gamers, to another episode of Vidja Game Hunting. This week my episode's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more just kind of a straight pickup video for all the items in September that I picked up that I didn't get into a video yet at this point. I actually had pretty good luck at some garage sales and the pawn shops, so I've got a lot of stuff to burn through relatively quickly. I don't want to make this video too long, so let's just jump right in. I'll start off with my garage sale items. So I went to a neighboring town. They were having a flea market. This is something they just started doing, I guess, and it's free to all vendors to set up. And then on top of that, they were doing a citywide garage sale. So one of the garage sales I stopped at was behind this local mom and pop shop. It's not really like a thrift store. I guess it's kind of sort of like secondhand, but the guy pretty much only stocks video games, music, beer stuff, you know, just kind of like, I guess, stuff guys would be interested in general. And he was having a garage sale behind the shop. I went through and didn't see any video games, and I knew he had quite a bit in the store, so I asked him about it and got talking. And he was saying, yeah, you know, I've still got some older games, you know, the Super Nintendo, Genesis stuff, but I've been selling a lot of it on eBay. So I didn't have real high hopes, but he was nice enough to take me into the store and let me in anyway. And I did end up getting a few good deals out of there. So everything I'm going to show you here, I got for 25 bucks from him. I got N64 controller with the memory card. A couple of GameCube games here. I've got Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King. Those are great hack and slash games. Teen Titans. I know a lot of people have been talking about this one lately. Kind of a fun multiplayer game. And then the best of the bunch, he was pulling out some Super Nintendo games that he said he hadn't looked up yet, price-wise. And I was amazed that he had them. First off, they were good games, and one I've been looking for a long time. And I asked him a price. I expected him to just look it up on his phone off of Amazon or eBay and shoot me a price, and he just shot out $5 for each. And I jumped on it. So the first game I got was Super Mario All-Stars, and that's a double for me, so I'm basically going to sell it off and pay for everything you see here. And then the next one was Donkey Kong Country 3, which I've been looking for forever. And to get it for $5 was great. So I happily took that deal and got out of there. So then the flea market in town that day, I got there early when the vendors were still setting up. It was kind of a cool day. There weren't too many vendors out there yet. I went through, didn't see any games really, and then on my way back there was one booth and the lady was setting up like a lot of kids' toys. And I just happened to ask her if she had games. She pulled out a small box and she happened to have Call of Duty Ghosts for the Wii U, brand new, and got that off of her for 10 bucks. I'm sure she picked it up on that Toys R Us clearance sale that was happening a while back. And then I think that's it. One more item, I guess, from garage sales. I got Donkey Kong for the Atari 2600. This was actually in a box of stuff marked free. And then the lady said she had another box of just games back at her house. Took my number, and of course I never heard back. But I always think it's kind of cool to find these Nintendo branded games on another console. That's kind of neat. Alright, and that will pretty much do it. I got one thrift for garage sales. I got one thrift store pickup. I found Pitfall for the Atari 2600. Kind of a classic game, I guess. When you think of Atari, this is the one that I think of right away. And I don't pick up a lot of Atari games. Not that I didn't like it. I mean, I had one as a kid. I just don't really enjoy going back and playing it ever. I mean, I see games a lot. I just don't pick them up. They don't interest me. I've got probably 40 or 50 already anyway. So moving on here, this is going to be everything I've picked up. This next one is one that I picked up on a random garage sale back just a couple blocks from my house. It was on a Sunday, just going for a grocery run, and I happened to see a garage sale about 4 p.m. on a Sunday, which a little odd, but they had some video game stuff, and they had this all in a bag. I just grabbed it. It was $5. So what was in there was the original PlayStation. It has the cords and everything. And then inside of it was not one, but two games. I actually got disc only, obviously. Twisted Metal 3 and Crash Bandicoot Warped, which I was really pumped to get. And then I got one other PlayStation game in that bag. It was Street Skater. And this, I remember this one coming out. This came out before Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and it definitely shows this game's pretty poor. But the thing that's great about it is the soundtrack. I think I've mentioned before, I'm a huge punk rock fan. And this has got just an all-star soundtrack. You got Less Than Jake, all H2O, straight-faced. So I'm really pumped. You know, and a lot of these, typically with the PlayStation games, you can actually throw them in your CD player and just listen to the tracks. So I'm going to do that. Really excited to listen to some of those. And then it came with two controllers. I think this is a GameStop controller, dual stick. One of the sticks is broken off. just a standard original PlayStation controller without the dual shock, or dual sticks, I guess, dual analog sticks. A Nintendo 64 controller, which was my main motivation for buying that whole lot for $5. And then one 64 game NFL Quarterback Club 98. So for $5, I really couldn't pass that up. Got a couple games out of the deal on a controller for the 64. I'll end up selling the PlayStation probably for $5 anyway and get my money back. Alright, so that's it for garage sales. Now moving on just to pawn shop pickups. I'll start with the oldest stuff first and work my way up. I got Donkey Kong Classics for the NES. I believe I paid $5 for this, which this game has been going up in price for some reason, and this is a duplicate for me, so I'm going to end up selling that, getting some of my money back. And then we'll go to PlayStation here. I got Atari Anniversary Edition. These were all $1. Medal of Honor Underground. Bust-A-Move 99. This one's in great condition. I love the Bust-A-Move games, especially the older ones. And Nuclear Strike, which the Strike series is always a good time, no matter what system you find it on. And we'll go on to N64. Now everything N64 you're going to see here was either $1 or $2, with one exception, I'll point that out. Armorines. Dark Rift. XG2, Fighter's Destiny, Top Gear Rally, Mickey's Speedway USA, which I've heard this is a really fun game from a lot of people, so I'm interested to try that one. Turok 2, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and this one was $4.99, but it's a great game. Perfect Dark. Now this one came with Blockbuster stickers all over it. I've got a little work to do to get it cleaned up further, but it looks a hell of a lot better than it did when I picked it up. Okay, and we will go on to some GameCube finds here. I think I got this for $5. Animal Crossing. This one is complete. Receipt in there even. Disc is in great shape. And these GameCube games here, I just kept seeing them through the month of September on the shelf at the pawn shop, and nobody was taking them. They were $1.99 each, so eventually I don't know, I shouldn't feel bad for an inanimate object, but I kind of feel bad that these games were just sitting on the shelf. So I picked them up. I figured I'd give them a new home. And it's Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Attack of the Twonkies, I think. This one's a GameCube exclusive, it looks like. Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse. And then Chicken Little. I don't have high hopes for any of those, but I don't know. I just had to pick them up. They were sitting there. I didn't want to leave them. And then I believe I got these for, this one was $2. LA Noire for the PlayStation 3, which I've never played. It seems like it's one of those games that people either love or hate, but I figured I'd give it a shot. And then Infamous 2, I believe, was $4 or $5. Huge fan of the first one. I've always wanted to play the second one. So now I'll get around to it eventually. And then the surprise deal. This pawn shop locks up in the glass case all of their Xbox One and PlayStation 4 games. So you can't really even get to them. They're separate from all the other game shelves. But as I was flipping through the PlayStation 3 games, I come across the Steelbook case. And I paused on it and looked. It was $9.99. Forza 5. And I was like, wait a minute, that's an Xbox One exclusive, is it not? So sure enough, I open it up. Forza 5, $9.99. Clearly they thought it was a PlayStation 3 game and they marked it like that. The codes and everything, I did have a buddy check. I don't have an Xbox One yet. I did have him look up the codes. They have been redeemed, but still. For $9.99, the limited edition Forza 5, Xbox One. That's great. I thought about selling it off to a friend who had Xbox One, but eventually I'll pick one up. So I might as well hang on to it for $10. Why not? I was really pumped to get that one. But yeah, that's it. That was a lot of stuff. I had a good September on top of everything else that you saw me posting in videos throughout the month. That's my haul. I did pretty good. One thing I wanted to mention, I've gotten a lot of comments and fellow YouTubers reaching out to me lately and telling me how much they enjoy the channel or whatnot. And I wanted to let everybody know that subscribes and watches. I really do appreciate that. I know I don't have the greatest videos in the world by any means, but I do it because I enjoy doing it and I like the YouTube community. So interacting with other YouTubers is great, and that's why I started my channel. And I really do appreciate people leaving comments and for the support. So to everyone out there, thank you. I appreciate that. And I will talk to you all next week.